All right, I'm going to call the January 21st meeting of the Whitman Aid to the Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund Committee to order. First on our agenda is public comment. Seeing no members of the public, we can move on to our next, which is approval of meeting minutes from our December 3rd meeting. And we get a chance to look it over?
Yeah, I read
Yes,
them
you did.
already.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second?
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay. Next up, we have the donation account balance update.
We have taken in an additional about $300. We're at $3,622.34.
$3,634.
$22.34.
Okay. All right. Which I think probably, thank you, Debbie. I think that segues into our discussion next up, which is an update on the Friends of the Whitman Elderly nonprofit.
So, John Galvin here as a guest, just to clarify for the record. So we had a meeting over the holidays with the 4 people that are on board. We had a good discussion, had some great ideas. We are still restricted at this point right now because we're still looking for that 5th member that would qualify us for a nonprofit. So we have not yet filed papers. We did look into all the details and everything. It's a long process and what needs to be done, but we've got it kind of outlined. I've reached out to several people who I know. It's kind of a tough thing to kind of reach out publicly for because we're looking for a minority or a woman or a veteran. So I can't really just go out and say, hey, we're looking for, it's kind of a weird thing. I've reached out to Kevin Tachi. I've reached out to Declan Ware. I've reached out to Mary Holland. Mary Holland actually expressed interest herself in joining. We had the discussion kind of, is it okay? I emailed Mary Beth Carter and Deborah. Haven't heard back yet from them on whether or not one of the first things she said to me was, I can't raise money for the Council on Aging. I said, well, this technically isn't for the Council on Aging. It's for the Aid to the Elderly Fund. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping to just kind of see what the thought is on that. I don't know if you and Mary Beth had any comments on it or not.
Mary Beth and I did, and then we decided best to have council give us the final answer because one perspective, it's okay. The other perspective is, the Aid to the Elderly, they are not her constituents, but her,
Okay.
I had the same concern with Declan Ware.
Yes, Peter.
Is it? I understood. I thought
that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought with Mary was that we would, keep her in the behind the scenes type of thing.
Maybe, yeah.
And just help advising, attending the meetings, whatever. Mm-hmm. Even just to get her name on it so that we can move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's not for her personal gain though, and I only know some of this because Brittany and I are on the same committee for something else, and I ran through ethics. I called them, and they said, as long as it's disclosed, it's absolutely okay. And that might be what Peter comes back with, is all I'm going to say.
Hopefully.
Because she can't benefit herself.
Because you're talking because of the
conflict of interest.
On the
because she works for the Council of Aging, and being on that committee with you, it might be okay.
Okay. Anyway, so moving forward, we have all the paperwork filled out. We're just looking to add the one name to qualify. That next step would be once we get approved technically as a company at first, as an organization. At that point, we then go through and get the tax ID number, open the bank account. Once we do all that is where we file separately for the nonprofit. And that could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to get certified as a nonprofit.
Wow.
So we discussed that in the meeting on, how would that restrict fundraising because we're not technically a nonprofit yet. and we thought of a lot of ideas that we could move forward with as soon as, basically as soon as we have our bank account open to take donations. But would probably, and Michelle Lamattina has a lot of experience in this, in dealing with companies on fundraising that they all want to see your nonprofit paperwork. They want to have everything detailed so that, especially the bigger ones, the smaller companies, it's usually not an issue. But the bigger ones like the Stop and Shops and, things like that are going to want to have. So we may not be able to go after them hard right away until we have, but still, we hope that once we clear this one hurdle, we're ready to rock. From basket raffles to, we wanted to do Super Bowl squares, but we're not quite ready yet for that.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah. But, maybe NCAA basketball or whatever, we can do some stuff there. And Michelle has 1,000 ideas.
Raffle
and
baskets.
She's experienced with it, so that's really good. So,
Raffle baskets are great.
yeah.
My
yeah.
son's running the Boston Marathon for BMC, and he's having a fundraiser Friday night, and I made 2 big baskets for that. They work.
Anyway, any questions or comments? No. Hopefully we can do a lot better. Oh, I do have a question for you, though. So once we get started and let's say we do go out and we start asking people to donate to the taxation fund instead of giving it to us. So the taxation or the friends, when we have our money, we're going to come down to the office and give you a check.
Right.
So could any business do that? Come down and give you a check? What's the difference between us doing it and, say, Stop and Shop doing it?
Because they have to donate through their bill. So if they
But
want
we're not going to be donating through our bill.
Yeah, but you're giving it as a gift.
Okay, so
Isn't this what we started with?
yeah. I'm just trying to clarify. I mean, I know we didn't want to put it on the website, and we
Yeah.
didn't want to actively put it out there to say send checks in.
Right.
But I'm just trying to clarify what the difference.
Well, if they want to come in and check it off on their personal property.
But what if they're not what if they're not?
Yeah.
Like my company, I don't have property, so I
Right.
don't have. Personally, I do, but my
Yeah.
company donate. Now I'm gonna donate to the taxation. I mean, to the Friends group to get it started. But what's the? I just we don't have to answer that now.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
I think it goes back to initially the town can only take those donations that come in that are actually checked off on their tax bill.
Tax bill. Okay. Makes sense.
And then, so if somebody wants to donate outside that, then they go through you guys and they
But
donate.
then I'm coming down to the town and not doing it through my tax bill. That's you can see that was what was brought up in
Yeah.
our meeting was
Yeah.
what's the difference? We can't necessarily go after businesses to say donate to us as a nonprofit because we're not a nonprofit yet. But if we went to say somebody, I mean, I guess we could focus on somebody that does own property. But a lot of these stores don't own their property.
Right, their leases.
They lease it. So, if we were going to go to, all the stores along here and say, geez, all these, can you donate to our fund? And they say, sure. I mean, I guess they could, hopefully we'll have our account opened up soon, but I'm talking about like bigger ones.
Right.
But anyway, just.
So just to clarify, how is the Friends organization donating to the fund?
It's as a gift.
As a gift?
Yeah.
So is it actually a gift to the town? And then it gets allocated to that fund, or?
Yes, because it's a gift with the intention of the elderly.
So we'd write it out to the town of Whitman, and in it say donation to the.
I'll double check with accounting
Yeah,
how it
that's
has
cool.
to come through, but yeah.
Cool. All right. Anyway, that's where we're at.
Okay. Which I think segues into like the next topic, which is just, so we have the application is approved, but we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern in the sense of like, when do we want to make this public and how do we make it public? Because right now, I mean, we could put it up on the website, but if we wanted to make copies of it and put it in the Council of Aging, put it in the library, we have no funds to make copies right now.
So while I was still on the committee, I did ask the town administrator about that, and she said that we would be welcome to use the town copiers. But again, I'm still volunteering to use my printer if we come to it. Kind of a side note, we had talked about getting an online version that's you can digitally enter the information on. So I did look into that, and with my version of Acrobat, I'd need to spend $40 a month to upgrade my version to get that. I'm hoping to find another option. I'm wondering, and maybe I'll talk down to Council on Aging to see if maybe we could customize the PDF down there. If they have the ability, I don't know. I'll ask Jill Getchell, who I've worked with, and Mary about that, how they deal with stuff like that. But I'm kind of stuck on that. I used to have that ability when I was a printing company and not a video company, but I no longer kept all my software subscriptions up to date, and I have the basic on a lot of them. Maybe I can also talk to Josh McNeil and see if maybe he can help me out. That's probably a better idea, to talk to Josh McNeil.
Yeah.
So I'll email Josh and I'll copy you.
Okay.
And see if, hey Josh, we have this application. How do we customize it so we can, we want to put it on the website, but we don't want to put it on the website until we have data fields, because that's what they're called. Data
Right.
fields.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can work on that, because I think that's the next thing that we have to decide as a committee is when we want to make this application public, because we don't want to do it. We can do it whenever, I guess, once we have a fillable PDF that we can put up on the website.
Right.
But also, we're talking about, because I think our deadline we set was at the 31st of October, I think.
To accept applications.
To accept applications. Yeah. So we want to give people time, but we also, the other thing too is, as stated at the beginning of the meeting, we have $3,622 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of this is going to be contingent on the work that that the Friends group does.
Right.
Because I mean, obviously, I know that there'll be periods of time where the treasurer collector is going to get, when bills are due, when excise tax are billed, you'll get more. But obviously, we only got $300 since we last met. So it's like, and there there'll be months where we'll be getting more because there'll be more bills coming in.
When are tax bills?
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yeah.
So, because I think the worry I kind of have too is about, I mean, one thing I've discovered also in my role as school committee chair is that everything takes way longer than you think it's going to take, or you would like it to take. And so the thing I worry about is that, as John said, that the Friends might take 3 to 6 months to get. First, they have to find their 5th member. Then they have to fill the paperwork. Then it might be 3 to 6 months. Like, I don't know if we want to put an application out if we're only going to have a few $1,000s to give next. I mean, like, I would like to. Hopefully, that the Friends group will be able to, once they get that nonprofit status, be able to hit the ground running and get a lot of money really quick.
Even before the nonprofit status, we'll be able to start fundraising. It's just we won't be able to. From the beginning, my intentions were always to hit the businesses hard.
Yeah.
And that's still, in discussions with when we had our meeting, that was going to be my role. Michelle was going to come up with fundraising roles, and then, Ken Lytell would fit in where he could. But I mean, Ken's more the money manager guy, and I mean, he's a certified government accountant. So it's great to have him on board. I almost thought about not making him an officer and then we qualify because there would be 2 women and 1 man, but I really want him on there. That's one option we kind of kicked around, is not having Ken on the founding committee, but I really want him there because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
So I think that's so beyond the just getting the application ready for the website, which we'll talk to Josh about it. I know there are other, because I've used some in the past for CPC. Like because I got rid of my Adobe. When they started going to like the monthly subscription thing, at a certain point I was like, this is just too much to keep to use for once or twice a year or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
As
I mean,
opposed to
that-
paying like when it used to be, you'd buy the software and then it would be one payment and then you just have it.
Yeah, I think actually,
Yep.
I was actually wrong. It's not 40. It's $69.99.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
For what I would need.
Remember, you used to be able to just buy it and upload it, and
Well,
type in the
I also
license.
had a business where I used it every day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I had to have it. You know? I
Correct.
mean, I was in the printing business before the video business, and I was in pre-press, so I would get PDFs as for jobs that I'd have to turn around and work on, and I needed to be able to edit them. And
Of
so I
course.
had to have the software then. And, you know, it was a business expense. It still would be a business expense now, but I just, you know,
Yeah.
But yeah,
that-
that's,
it's crazy.
It's like $840 a year
Yeah,
to,
That's
to
a
make
lot.
a PDF. It's
Right.
kind of a lot.
Crazy.
So, but beyond that, then I think there's just a question of, you know, when is the right time to
Release
kind of
it.
release it and launch it so that it you know, gives residents time to put it together. You know, so we don't want to put it out like, you know, if it's due at the end of October, obviously we want to put it out months before that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we want to put it out too soon also because, like I said, if hopefully, you know, the Friends is going to really, you know, really add to the coffers quite a bit. But like I said, I just get nervous about putting out an application for now saying that we're going to give aid and then we only have a little bit of money to give at this
That's
point.
it, yeah.
You know, and that, so I would personally rather wait till we had more money so we knew we were going to be able to give people money.
Yeah.
Just in the event that, you know,
Well, I would think you could wait until March or April to, you know, I mean, if you put it out in June, you give them the whole summer to do it.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
Which would make more sense because the next bill after February is May.
May, yeah.
So we'll see what happens and see where
Yeah.
you are maybe
Yeah.
in May or even June. You know, maybe you got your friends up and running. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't. Maybe you're bringing in money. Maybe you're not. That way we can. No, them, nothing
Don't
against
say-
you. No,
yeah.
I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
I've already
we can
lost
weigh it out.
what's
and
left
if
of
we
my
got
hair
something
trying to
great,
get this
we
going.
go.
I want light at the end of the tunnel.
I just generally try to be a cautious person about things like
Yes,
this
I don't
because
blame you,
want
Ryan.
I don't want to make a big like to do about we're going to be giving money away to people and then
We don't have any money.
we don't have any money to give them.
Exactly.
Oh
So
yeah, okay. Then we don't want the.
Yeah, like
Oh,
yeah,
2, 3.
everyone gets you know all the applicants get $13 or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we don't want
Yeah.
02382 blowing up over
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Agree.
So I think that, you know, so that's just another thing about, like, I think, like, in my head, I thought the summer, like June, and would be a good, you know, because then they have, because the other thing, and this is the thing that, you know, I also have to deal with, like, in terms of scheduling different things and stuff like that, is you want there to be enough time for people to, you know, be able to get the material, go through the application, talk to people they need to get all the material they need. But you don't want to be almost like too time where they kind of forget about it too. You know, it's like
True.
if we put it out in February, for example,
Yeah.
and then like we're not going to be, you know, we can probably do some pushes and stuff to remind people, but it's probably good to have it be one push. Here it is, and then you know, and then they can start working on it, and they'll have information. But so that would be my kind of thought. It was like we, you know, kind of tentatively maybe June. I think might be good
Yeah.
to think about, but then contingent on kind of like where the Friends are in their fundraising efforts, because I just, you know, because I would, as much as I hate the slowness of everything, I would rather wait a whole year rather than launch the first year and have no money to give people. Because I think, like you're right, that would cause quite a stir if you made a big thing about we're helping out the elderly.
Yeah. But we
Oh
don't have any
my
We
money.
don't have
Gosh.
money to do that, so.
Oh, we
Let
have-
me ask you a question,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
What do we have? I for some reason I have in my head that the deadline for submitting their application was the end of August, and we'd make a decision sometime in October. Am I wrong on that, John?
I thought we had
Because
October.
we said because of the whole holidays.
October. When did the December 1st? January 1st they go out, right?
What,
The-
the bills?
the-
Bills, yeah.
And
bills.
December, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought we said October 31st, and then the end of February the end of November we would have the decision so that all that information could get processed for the bills. I don't know if there's enough time. Or maybe he's right, I forget.
That might not
Well,
be enough
no.
time either, because you don't know how many applications you're going to get. You could
Maybe
get
right.
100,
We have
you
to go
could get
back and look
maybe
at that.
5.
I mean, if we have to go through 100, that's
Yeah.
going to take a minute.
That's going to take more than just between 4 or 5 of
And
us.
also getting the information processed for the tax bills.
Exactly, and then
by
have to call
January
them if they
1st.
don't have everything. And
And that
Deb,
has to.
Deb, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey. Deb just had her hand up.
Oh yeah, I may have missed this. How so somebody applies, they get approved. How are they getting paid? Is the friends is the town just going to take it off their tax? Like how?
Yeah, the town would take it off
the
their
taxes.
tax bill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just like the exemptions.
right.
So
okay.
that's
Alright,
like
hold
that.
on.
There's that short window in between when the warrant is signed and the bills get printed. There's that window of maybe a week if we're lucky sometimes, right? And that's when you would have to get all of that in if you wanted to get it on that third quarter bill.
Yeah, I just don't know
Right.
how it's going to get entered. Do you know what I mean? Is it going to get entered as
Yeah,
a credit from? You know what I mean? It's not like it's an abatement from the town.
That's right. It's not.
Do you know what I mean? Or an exemption from? It's nothing from the town.
There has
It's
to
not
be.
Exactly.
It's got to be.
Well, it's not from the Friends. It's from the actual
Taxation
the
aid.
taxation
Yeah.
aid fund.
Yeah, it's coming from the.
It's coming from the
taxation.
town.
Yeah. I just don't know if we have to create like a new bucket or something
Yeah.
on the bill
They'll
to
probably have to
differentiate it from other. You know what I mean?
because like the exemptions and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Probably has to go in around the same time, I would think, but
Applications due October 1st.
October 1st.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
October 1st. Oh, all right. So we
So
have
it's a month.
Yeah.
So you get October and
October and November to
it's
decide.
on the
okay.
application.
Okay. But I think if we were talking about, like, let's say that we released at the beginning of June, that gives them 4 months to
Yeah.
yes,
go through,
June,
which
July,
I think
August,
is
September, correct.
yeah.
That should be
I think that's a good amount of time.
I do.
And I think it also gives us a little bit more time to build up the fund,
right.
or not us. You build
Well.
up the fund, and taxpayers pay up the fund. And then so we can make it, we can kind of maybe have, and we might have a better sense too, because of like, let's say that you have the Friends group you got your 5th member, you've applied for nonprofit status, and then you have it, and by June we'll know, okay, well they'll be doing lots of fundraising, and it's just, that's, I think and I know that, because, well, answer me this question, if you are going to do fundraising before you have nonprofit status, how does that impact you guys?
It doesn't really, because it would impact us if we don't get the status, but we're confident we will. So it's just a matter of the people that are comfortable with that information that hey,
So, like,
you will be able to deduct this.
So if you collect money before you get your nonprofit status, retroactively that would be considered,
Yeah.
like you want to pay taxes on the stuff you collect before.
Because they don't have to claim it until the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be different if people have different fiscal years.
Right.
But depending upon, they'll still get receipts from us. It'll just be, at the end of the year, anybody that needs it will need our nonprofit certificate or whatever it is that we would give them to, I mean, it basically, I think if it's similar to any business, at the end of the year, we send them whatever it is we will send them. Because I know I get them. I do a lot of work with private schools like FAIR and BC High and all that. And at the end of the year, I always get it's not a 10, maybe it is
It's
a
not-
1099.
It could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be whatever it is. I get a form saying this is the amount of money we paid you in this year. And, not that it's tax deductible, because it's not, but it's just the way they operate. So we
Yeah.
would need to do that probably. This is, what you
Yes.
paid us. I don't know. Kennel.
Just like our church.
That's why I want Ken.
The church does that.
Yeah.
No, but
that's why Kennel now.
a church does that, and it's not on any tax form. It's just simply
Yeah.
a,
Donation amounts.
it's the every month how much you gave or
Yeah.
whatever, and that's what I use for my taxes.
Cool.
So not having nonprofit status would basically more or less preclude you from, like you said, some of the bigger, larger companies that might not feel comfortable.
That
Like a
aren't
smaller
gonna-
company might be like, we know John, we know
Even then, I mean, they just don't do it the same way.
Right, yeah.
They don't answer. They're the owner, whereas a corporate,
Yeah.
like Stop and Shop, has to answer to their corporate.
Right.
And it's like, we need to. We're not going to make this donation until you show us.
Right.
I mean,
Well, that was the same thing when we were talking about having Stop and Shop having to have a way that they could make the donation other than putting an additional money in their tax bill, because there are going to be people up in offices somewhere that are going to want to know, have everything
Right.
exactly, as opposed to it's not in the memo of a.
I mean,
of a tax slip or
Michelle
something.
said there was most of the companies that she dealt with for getting donations for Dollars for Scholars, most of them do it. She said, but the bigger ones who you really want to go after, who are going to give you a lot of money, they need to have that just because they can't cut the check until
Right.
they have that information.
Yeah.
So that's basically where it is. And once we get going, we'll be going right away.
Okay.
So hopefully our concerns over not having the money are, I'm not saying we're going to have $100,000, but we'll have a lot more than hopefully 10 or 20.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully.
Okay. All right. So then that brings us to the last item, which is setting our next meeting date. Do we need to meet monthly going forward now? In terms of, I mean,
We may just want to meet next month just so that I can update you on where
Okay.
we're at.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I guess I can email you all because I'm not. So if you want to do that and not meet and just say, John, let us know, because I can email you and you can forward it to wherever, where we're at.
I just want to be mindful of folks' time if the application is basically all set, and now it's just that we're just in a waiting period where we're waiting to get everything lined up. I don't know if we.
It's up to you.
Well, it's up to the committee, I guess, too. I mean, my thought was just,
Maybe as needed. I mean, if John gets an update or Deb gets some kind of an update, then
yeah.
we have a meeting or something comes
Why
up.
don't we tentatively schedule? Why don't we schedule maybe a May meeting? Does that make sense?
A May meeting?
From
a May
now?
meeting.
No,
Instead
I'm
of next
thinking
month, you mean?
maybe March.
You think March? Okay.
I wouldn't go out to
Okay.
May, March,
So then,
Schedule.
unless something comes up.
right. Well, that's
Wednesday,
because
whatever.
what we do with community preservation was we used to meet every month, and then it got to the point where we're like, okay, everything's all set up. Now it's just when we have applications that come in. There's a period of time where we're busy, and then it's kind of like we kind of have there's like we're going to be meeting next month and stuff because the applications are coming in and before town meeting. But then like we only meet like in the summer if we need to, if something comes up, like when the Peaceful Meadow property came up for sale, we had a meeting to talk about that, but we did it as needed. But I just want to, like I said, just be mindful. I know, although Deb is traveling the shortest distance from all of us, she's also busy, doing a lot of work downstairs to come up and, so, all right, so let's take a look at March then.
Why don't we stick with the second Wednesday like we had been doing?
Okay.
In the morning or whatever?
So that's
Would
March
that be
11th?
March 11th, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do March 11th at 10:30?
All right. So no February.
No February, I think.
Okay.
And unless, like I said, something amazing comes up and we need to meet, I'll reach out to everybody and we can schedule something for February. But, yeah. So is that all right? Does that work for everybody?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. What were you going to say, John?
Before we motion to adjourn, if I
Yeah.
could have the members just say who's here,
Oh, right,
just
yep.
so I have the software has a voice for each name.
Oh, okay.
It makes it a lot easier for that because
Gotcha.
it won't
So-
work if it
all right.
doesn't know who everybody is.
Okay.
So.
All right. All right. So 10:30 on the 11th of March. Does that work for everybody? All right.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Okay. So in attendance today is Ryan Trussell, chair.
Heidi Hosmer, member.
Ken Layla?
Debbie O'Brien.
John Galvin, guest.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a
Motion?
Whoop, go ahead.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.